Hey John, are we gonna are we starting the video?
Yeah, I mean, we've been recording for 10 minutes now.
Like my shirt and hat.
Look at that. It's legit.
It's LOA merchandise.
It's like we're actually being professional. Kind
Well, to be
kind of.
fair, I don't really know what happened to my other shirt.
Rudy loses. We give Rudy stuff and he loses it.
I think somebody stole it, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I would steal it. It's a cool shirt. I
It is
would
a cool
steal it. I
shirt.
borrow it. I borrow it.
I have so many of them now. Amanda got them to me in like an hour.
I bring it back lightly used.
I think I stole one of yours. I think that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
I can't
Probably more than one of mine.
Lay down, dog. Lay down. Stupid dogs. 21.2 is
17.1.
if I had a whiteboard, I'd write it on there. 17.1.
Yeah. How do you feel about how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that, Rudy?
Psyched when I during the announcement. I love this workout. I loved it then. It's brilliantly painful, and I like it just as much now as I did then. It feels like we're in the open now. You know what I mean? Like the wall walks and stuff. That was like everybody's like, ooh.
Here's a question. What's your all-time favorite open workout?
Ah, 13.1. I'd have to look. It was something in 13. I know that. Do you want me to look right now? I can look on my laptop.
Sure. I mean, do you remember what it was? Just like the movements or whatnot?
Snatches and double unders, I believe. Ascending reps or ascending weight. Although, what was 14.1? That was the piece in the beginning, and then the max clean and jerk or the max clean. I love that too.
Forget what year or what workout, but that was probably my favorite with the max.
Yeah, that was pretty dang good.
We crushed that one.
So I'm sure we have a video on this workout from 2017. Can't find it. I don't know where it is. Who knows? So we're gonna kind of go through it again. I think this will be a much quicker video than last week. Don't you agree, Ron?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty
Why do you have like psychedelic-y stuff going on in the background?
It's the Northern Lights. Are you familiar? It's actually in my house.
You have the Northern Lights in your house, huh?
Kind of a big deal, but we can't talk about that right now.
I mean, good for you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. So big things here in watching the boys do it. Sam Quant and Justin Medeiros do it. You have a cat. There's no way to look tougher than holding a cat.
This is Miss Birdie. She's kind of
cat.
She's a kind
that cat is so annoying.
Why?
In real life.
No, you watch your mouth when you talk about Miss Birdie.
You know how many times I've woken up with that cat looking at me?
He didn't mean it, Bird.
Like this.
He didn't mean it.
In watching the boys do it, so I don't know how many of you guys watch this, but I just want to comment. Sam Quant started out fairly slow. Justin Medeiros started out fairly fast, and it looked like it was one of those classic, and I hate to say this is the only person I can think of to use an example, but I love him, and he's a great athlete. He looked like a classic Noah Olson burnout, right? It looked like one of those start hot, and the other guy looks like he's moving really slow, and the slow guy catches up. Medeiros didn't really slow down. He looked like he was dying on the round of 40 dumbbell snatches, but he never slowed down, did the workout in around 10 minutes, which is very, very fast. If I'm being honest, the rest of you, unless you're one of those elite few, the 10 minutes went by a long time ago, right? So what we're doing now is we're trying to figure out how to get you the best score, right? Which is pretty much what we have to worry about at this point.
Otherwise known as strategy
and tips. I kind of you want to talk about the dumbbell first and then the burpees.
You're the man. Whatever you think.
All right. Well, one interesting thing in the announcement, and I haven't watched this video or I haven't watched this workout a ton. One of the interesting things was Medeiros was doing much more of a actual snatch pull from the ground, i.e., he was bending his knees as opposed to just kind of leaning over with his back, just hinging with his back. He actually was bending his knees and doing much more of a legit pull, a snatch style pull off the ground.
Right.
I prefer this greatly. I don't really like the people that just do this the whole workout, hinge at the hip, right, and everything is back glute, hamstrings for the entire thing.
What about switching movement patterns to progress?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say is I think there's a bit of a give and take there. Like whichever style you're more comfortable with, if you're more of one of those hinge at the hip people, you should sort of alternate, right? Because the burpees you just kind of have to get through. The dumbbell snatch is going to be the make or break, right? So yeah, at some point you want to kind of lean over a little bit more if you're one of those people that kind of jumps the dumbbell overhead. If you're one of those people that leans over more, you want to kind of use your quads a little bit more at some point. I don't like sticking to one for the entire time because at some point lactic acid just continues to fill and continues to fill. Not to mention if you're all back on that pull, this just simply the nature of standing up out of the burpees sucks.
Bless you.
It was more of a burp.
Bless you either way.
Bless me anyway. Thank you.
Sorry. You were on a roll. Continue.
Yeah, I think that you have to kind of switch patterns back and forth. I would recommend if you're going to start with one, I'd start firing, the front side, the quads. I'd bend the knees more, do more of a legit style first pull than just hinging at the hip. And I think the key here is that dumbbell's mildly heavy for most people, right? It's for you, John, it's probably you just throw it overhead, right? For most normal humans that don't have a 700-pound deadlift back, it's a little bit heavier, right? So for me, I'm trying to sort of explosively get the dumbbell overhead as opposed to just kind of heave ho it over because yes, that's going to fatigue me a little bit more, but at the same time, it's not going to be as muscularly fatiguing as it would if I were just bending over.
Right.
The big thing, Neil Maddox said this, actually, this is how much I was listening to the commentary. Neil Maddox actually said that he did this workout twice in 2017. He did it one time where he put the dumbbell on the ground and switched hands. And then the second time he switched hands on the way down. He did the little catch thing that everybody's doing. And he took 2 minutes off his time.
He said that back in 2017.
No, he said that tonight on the show, right? He was the commentator. And I think that's spot on, right? You cannot place the dumbbell on the ground, switch hands, and go again. There's two reasons. One, slower, obviously, right? Two, this is something we have talked about for, is this 10 years of these videos? 9 years of these videos?
I don't know. I'm terrible with
same party for 10 years.
I'm terrible with dates and time.
Same party for 10 years. Utilizing the stretch shortening cycle, right? When you when you switch hands on the way down and tap the dumbbell on the ground, you're utilizing the stretch shortening cycle, which in layman's terms is like the rubber bands that are in your.
It's why when you're doing particularly heavy high rep deadlifts, if you let go of the bar and let the weight and lose all that tension, lose that elasticity, that bounce back in the muscles.
Yeah.
I mean, you were doing half as many reps, maybe.
30%, 20 to 30% more strength, right? By utilizing the stretch shortening cycle, et cetera.
Yep.
So the recommendation for everyone, no matter what level you're at, right? Even if it means you're only doing 2 reps at a time because it's very heavy, the recommendation is switch hands on the way down, tap and go, right? It's touch and go every single time because then we're getting the stretch shortening cycle. We're getting that extra elasticity from the stretch shortening cycle to kind of jump that dumbbell or get that dumbbell back overhead, right? The dumbbell is not the place you want to break and take your rest. I realize that most people have to do this. The boys tonight didn't. Those people that are around 10 minutes are not going to. But if you're in that 15-minute category, you almost want to just kind of slow grind through those reps as opposed to putting the dumbbell down and resting, right? If you have to rest, you want that rest to be on the burpees. Agreed?
Agreed.
I think that's
Well, and when we say rest, if you have the metabolic capacity, if you have the conditioning, get the rest by not obviously standing still, but just a recovery pace on the burpees, right?
Right. Yeah. Same thing with the dumbbell. As you fatigue, move slower, right? You don't have to burn through those reps as quickly as possible, right? And that's sort of the beauty of a workout like this. Is it's muscular endurance, it's endurance, it's muscular fatigue that we're fighting off, all those things. And you have anything else on the dumbbell?
No.
Wear weightlifting shoes. No, I'm just kidding. The burpee box jumps. So I know for a fact, I've been saying this since burpees were first introduced into the open, right? The step out, step in style is legal. I read through the rules, and it is the most effective and the most heart rate, non-spiking. Is that the way you say that? I don't know how to say that. It will keep your heart rate at a steady baseline as opposed to jumping in and out of the burpee, right? Medeiros jumped in and out of the burpee. Great job. He did the workout in 10 minutes. Quant stepped in and stepped out of every single one, right? And I think this is the way to go. The step in, step out for most people, 99.9% of people, is going to be the way to go. Agreed?
Yes.
One thing that's it's been around since burpee box jump overs sort of started as a thing is you don't have to open your hip on top of the box, right? There's no standard of standing up on top of the box. So if you watch the video, if you watch what Medeiros especially had that shuffle across the top of the box mastered, right? Mm-hmm. He never stood up. He never looked up. He never stood up. He was bent over the whole time. That is effective and efficient, right? If we're talking about efficiency, if we're talking about keeping your heart rate down, if we're talking about not burning yourself out on a workout, that's it right there. Mm-hmm. Don't stand up. As weird as it is.
Well, when you stand up, not only is it creating a larger range of motion, but that lockout is using the biggest muscle group in your body when you lock out. So keep them out of it, you know.
So
keep them out of it unless you're using them to actually complete a movement. You're not. The movement's complete. You're on the box. Don't lock out. Don't engage your hips and your glutes, and get back off the box. Keep those muscles loose.
Right. And one thing I want to talk about, but I need to maybe we do it. Edit right here because I need to look it up really quick first.
Actually, come here. You gotta make your cameo. Come on.
Oh, I don't want a scorecard.
That's a big boy.
So step ups are not allowed. I believe they've been allowed previously in the open, but they're not allowed this year unless you're 55 plus. So you're gonna have to jump. What does that mean? You want to do as little jumping as possible. So again, the step forward to the box, jump on the box, step down from the box.
Right.
Yes, this takes longer. If you try and do it fast, you're going to die. Period.
It's up to you. You get a shot. And even with that jump, you know, we're not talking big, explosive, hip locked out jump. It's more of a hop, I would say.
Probably you have the soft boxes, the Rogue soft boxes, because you can miss a jump in those things and it's okay. You don't have to go to the hospital.
No, you're not going to bust your shin wide open.
I remember wood box jumps.
I mean, that's what we still use.
Oh, I mean, wood's great.
We got a few soft boxes, but
man, the soft. I remember I was at MD USA the first time I saw a soft box, and I was like, oh my God, who invented this? This is genius.
Brilliant.
You could, oh no, you have to land both feet on top. On a soft box, I was going to say, You could just jump and do a roll over it, not even land it. Just
tuck and roll.
don't do that. It's a joke. It's not legal. You have to land with your feet on the box.
If you do it, video that shit.
It'll be pretty funny. Anything else?
Have fun. Oh, a few other things. 1, have fun. 2, keep in mind, this is for your wellness. This is for your health, for your fitness, for your well-being. So chill out. And all of you guys and gals out there that are being super serious about your sleep and your diet right now during this week, that's great. Maintain that for the rest of the year. That would be a huge win.
But then what are they going to do when it's the open again?
Then they dial it in a little more and keep it in that way. Anyway, my point is keep your eyes on the prize. The prize is overall wellness. This is a carrot in front of the horse. It's a super awesome goal. It's a super awesome motivator. Don't lose sight of that. Otherwise, you're just trying to be the best at exercise, right?
I'm not trying to be the best at exercise.
Well, some people are.
Kenny Powers. All right. The big yay or nay. Do you repeat or not? John, you go first.
You know, honestly, I'm a fan of straight through in the open. But if you were going to repeat one, not a bad one to repeat.
I'd say it's going to hurt. But repeating this one will be far more recoverable than repeating the last one with all that. Yes, far more.
Far more recoverable.
Far more. You're using it.
Overall advice is still one and done. Have some fun, one and done, knock it out. But if you do it and you go back and realize it was just some kind of egregious problem with your form or strategy or technique, came out too hot, whatever, et cetera, this would be one I would, as a coach, I'd be like, yeah, you could redo it. If there was a big strategic flaw in the first run.
Yeah, it's a good point. If you're one of those people that's videoing your workouts, look, analyze it, right? Watch it. You're gonna get mad at yourself when you watch the video. Like, period. You get mad at yourself. You're gonna go, why was I resting there? Why did I do that? Why did I walk over there? Why did I put it down? Why did I talk up? Blah 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 blah. Right? And I do think this is a almost strictly endurance workout as far as muscularly goes. It's not a super specific, we're blowing your shoulders to death workout, right? You're using your entire body to get that 50 pounds overhead, and you're switching arms each time. So only half the reps are on either side, and your legs are taking just the explosiveness of getting 50 pounds overhead, which for most of us, if you put a 50-pound barbell in their hands, most people would be like, what? All I have to do is put this overhead? This is nothing, right? And then the burpees are very kind of a long chain event. So yeah, this is one that maybe you do it the first time. Maybe you went out a little bit too hot. You blew yourself out. You watch the video, whatever. You realize you want to slow down. Find pacing numbers for yourself. Exact pacing numbers, right? Whatever you want to do with it. I think this one's definitely repeatable.
I agree.
21.2. We'll be back for just FYI. John told me to not come down this week.
I like the split screen.
I don't mind the split screen. I'd like to be in person, but I don't mind the split screen.
Yeah. Well, then if we invite him down, Rudy tries to ride, Sportsters that he put together in his garage the week before. And
I don't have a garage.
I didn't make it.
It was my yard, and I did make it. I did.
I'm going to ride my motorcycle. Don't do that.
It took 9 or 10 hours, but I did make it.
Yeah.
And it hurt.
That time.
It hurt really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys for 21.3, which is the end of the Open.
21.3 next time into the Open.
It's not very much opening, but hey, take what we can get. Bye-bye.